Hi, Midway. You ready? This is rabbits are the third most surrendered pets to animal shelters behind cats and dogs and cats. And that's on page 76. This is chapter 7 today. This is kind of a sad chapter. I feel like Emma's trying to make friends and she's hitting a little of a struggle. Here we go. Page 76. When I got off the bus, Dad, Mom, and Owen were sitting in the rocking chairs on the porch. As I walked down the driveway, Mom held up her phone to take a photo, but I didn't have any smiles left in me, so I pretended I didn't see her and looked at Dad's truck in front of the barn. Last night, when I went with him on his call, I had such high hopes for today. "Welcome home," Dad said, grinning. I dropped my backpack into the front steps, and then I burst into tears. Rocking chair squeaked, and then I felt Mom's arms around me. "What happened?" she asked softly. I was embarrassed to be crying, but it felt good to be hugged and to bury my face in her shirt. My answer came out in pieces. "Everything!" "Come on, Em," Dad said, picking up my backpack. "Let's go get you something to eat, and you can tell us. Owen and I have been eyeing that blueberry pie all day, but we waited for you to have a slice with us." Well, the pie did make me feel better, a little better. At least I wasn't hungry on top of everything else, and being home where I didn't have to try so hard was a relief. I felt the day melting off me like dirt in a hot shower. It was so hard to make friends. At recess, I just sat and watched other kids play kickball because I didn't have anyone to hang with. And between mouthfuls, my apple rolled across the cafeteria floor, and the lunch lady yelled at me. And then, when it was time to go home, I couldn't remember which bus was mine. I had to ask Shauna from homeschool group to help me figure it out, and she's only in 3rd grade. "I'm sorry you've had a hard day," Mom said. "How are the classes?" I shrugged. "Okay, but I just got going with one thing, and then it was time for something else. Math was easy, and social studies will start off as a repeat, but I didn't finish the page of science questions, and even though everyone else did, I spent too long thinking about the questions. I have to do a group project with some kids, too. We had to introduce ourselves to the class using some game, 2 truths and a lie." "Well, there's a chance to make a friend, right?" Mom said. She sounded hopeful, like I had felt this morning. "I tried, but I don't think I can do this. I thought I was ready, but it's harder and less fun than I thought it would be. Maybe public school is just not for me." "You've got to give it a chance," Mom replied. "It's only been a day." Wait, what? That wasn't what I thought she'd say. "But when I said I wanted to go, you said it was my choice," I said. "Remember? You even seemed a little disappointed that I wanted to go." "That's because I knew I would miss you," Mom said. "But you can't choose to give up on something when it gets hard, Emma. Everything has hard parts, especially when it's new. So we can talk about it after you get through those first hard parts." "But how long will that take?" I asked. "I don't know," Mom said. "Certainly more than one day." Owen nodded. I looked away from him. I wanted him on my side. That's when I saw the pet carrier beside the door, a rotten cherry on an already terrible Sunday. In the relief of being home, I had forgotten we were taking Lappy to the shelter. Carrying Lappy, I followed Dad across the parking lot to Rangley Animal Shelter. In the race, both excited and scared, had sat down on the sidelines now. Sad was the only one running. Happy had put his paws up on the side of the pen when I went to get him, so happy that I was home. Holding him had made the whole day better. But then I had to put him in the carrier. And the shelter lobby was bright with orange puffy chairs. There were colorful displays of leashes and collars, pet beds, and bags of food for sale. Soft music was playing, but a few dogs were barking somewhere beyond the doors. Behind the counter, a woman smiled. "Good afternoon. Can I help you?" "My daughter and I rescued a stray rabbit last night," Dad said. As I lifted Lappy out of the carrier, the woman smiled. "What an adorable bunny!" It's not easy to tell exact age with rabbits, but he doesn't look very old. Maybe he's a year old or two. Let me check the lost pet database and see if anyone has reported a gold-colored bunny missing. As she typed on her computer, I stroked Lappy. I wanted my hands to remember everything about him, the size of his paws, the roundness of his back, and how his ears felt like soft flower petals. I had wanted to believe that Pepper had sent Lappy to me with some rabbit magic for my first day of school. But today hadn't turned out anything like I'd hoped, and now even Lappy was leaving me. There was a hamster in a cage along the wall, and behind the cage was a window that looked into another room with more small animal cages. Inside was a white rabbit. His cage didn't look big enough for him to jump or twist or run very far. "None of the lost bunnies match yours," the woman said. "So what would you like to do? Do you want to surrender him to us?" The word surrender did it. Lappy twitched as my ear hit his nose. "Oh, Emma," Dad said gently, "it's all right. I hate when adults say it's all right when you're sad. Some things just aren't all right. He won't be able to hop around in those little cages. The rabbits get playtime outside their cage every day," I heard the woman say. "We'll take good care of him, I promise." "Hear that, Emma?" Dad said. "He'll get playtime." "Can't we keep him? Please?" I was begging. But I didn't care. "You and Mom won't have to do anything. I'll feed him, I'll clean up after him, and I'll play with him each afternoon and every weekend so he won't be lonely." I talked super fast so Dad didn't have any time to say no. It would make school lots better because I'd have someone to look forward to at the end of the day. "Please, please." The woman and I both waited for Dad to say something, but he just rubbed his chin. Finally, the woman said softly, "Did you give him a—" "Monsignor Lapine," I said quietly, but I nicknamed him Lappy. I knew with each passing second Dad's answer was more likely to be no. So I kissed the back of Lappy's neck and concentrated on his smell, warm and rabbity. He doesn't know what's coming when we walk away. Will he think I didn't like him or did something wrong? Surrender is a terrible word. His name comes from stories my father used to tell, Dad said. He was a farmer up in Quebec, Canada. I glanced over and saw tears in my dad's eyes, too. But the rabbit simply doesn't belong to us, Em. And right then I realized a funny thing about surrendering. Sometimes when you finally give up trying to make your first idea work out, you can think of a second one. I looked over at the woman. Could Lappy stay with us until someone claimed him? And if no one ever did, could we keep him? She looked at Dad. I do check the lost pet listings every day. I could call you if his family reports him missing. Unusually, though, if someone has lost a beloved pet, they report it right away. And from what I can see of his fur and nails, he's been on his own for a while. Dad took a long breath. The woman gave Lappy a sad smile. The truth is that sometimes people get tired of taking care of pet rabbits and just let them go. They think they'll be able to survive in the wild, but that's not true. She turned to me. Rabbits can live up to 12 years, though. It's a real commitment. I promise that I'll take care of him every day, I said. And if no one claims him, I'll still take care of him. And when I'm older and in high school, and if he can't come to college with me, I'll take online courses. Dad cracked a smile. You don't need to do that. But here's what I'm worried about, Em. It's harder to give up something the longer you've had it. If someone does claim him, you'll have to return him. Are you sure you want to take that risk? I nodded. He's completely your responsibility, Dad added. I nodded harder. Mom is going to kill me, he muttered. As Dad gave the woman our phone number, Lappy nuzzled against my neck. I laid my cheek on his ear. Even if I hadn't made a kid best friend yet, I had a rabbit one. My knees felt like collapsing from having something finally go right today. Maybe excited, had just needed a break, because suddenly she was back in the race. Even if she was way behind and limping, Lappy was mine, at least for now. Thanks for listening and reading.